Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this, as you have probably gathered, is my review of the TV show Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, I'll start at the very beginning. Next Generation, it was made, well, because of the success of Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. That was such a blockbuster that the time seemed right to do a big budget live action TV show. And it was well received, it was hugely successful. I think it came out in 1987 in America, but in England we didn't get to see it until 1990. I was 10 years old back then, and when I saw it, well, I'll be honest, I didn't like it at first. It took me a while to warm to it because we have to understand in 1990 the original Star Trek was brand new. Well, it wasn't brand new. What I meant was it was brand new to me. So I wasn't ready to move on and have a new version of Star Trek. No, I still felt a loyalty to the original, yeah. And I hadn't seen all the original films yet either, yeah. But all kids at school going on about it, this great new TV show, Star Trek Next Generation. So I watched the odd episode, and yeah, when I saw it, gave it a shot, I thought, well, this is hardly Captain Kirk, is it? It's not as good, no. So I didn't like it at first, but I appreciate it for what it was. Yeah, these really great special effects and everything, yeah. And then, in 1992, in Britain, they didn't show. They stopped showing episodes of Next Generation and started showing the original series, and that suited me, because I like the original better. Then in 1993, they just showed original episodes of Star Trek. They didn't show a single episode of Next Generation in 1993 in Britain, but they sold all the merchandise, all the spaceships and action figures and everything. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not a marketing expert, but wouldn't it make more sense to sell your merchandise while the TV show is currently on the air? That would make a lot more sense. But no, that's what they did. No, sell your merchandise when it's not on TV. But a year later, in 1994, Next Generation was back on the box, and yes, it didn't matter. All the merchandise sold extremely well. Next Generation just got better and better and better. More and more people liked it. All huge, bigger audience. Yes, the original TV show of Star Trek ended badly with low ratings. Next Generation ended with a bang. It had huge ratings when it ended, and it ended while it was really good. Yeah. So yes, Star Trek Next Generation did really well. And eventually, by the time I was like in my mid-teens or something, I warmed to it. I did really like Star Trek Next Generation, yes. So, still not as good as the original, but the next best thing, yeah. And I appreciate it for pioneering new special effects, yeah. Because the thing you have to understand is, in the 1980s, great special effects for sci-fi films, not very good special effects for sci-fi TV shows. No, they always got away with minuscule, bad effects, small budget. All that changed with Next Generation. This was the first really big budget sci-fi TV show. And other shows had to jump on the bandwagon. Babylon 5 was made because of the success of Next Generation. Yeah, so Star Trek Next Generation, it was a milestone in pioneering good TV, yeah. This is the big model of the Enterprise. And here we have a much smaller one here. Okay. This is, the smaller version. And, the new Enterprise, it's Enterprise D, to show that a lot of time has passed. Yes, 78 years have passed, so it changes. And it's bigger, and it can go faster, and the saucer section can separate, yeah. If there's an emergency, like the engine's going to blow up, the saucer section can come off. So it can do things the original one couldn't. It has more than one turbo lift that leads to the bridge, yeah. And but it wasn't all great. No, I'll say something. Next Generation wasn't quite so perfect. I distinctly remember when I was a teenager, there was one episode of Next Generation, a visitor from another time uses his time machine to go on the Starship Enterprise, and what does he do? He steals things. He steals a few gadgets and gizmos for his collection. That's what he does. He collects gadgets and gizmos from different time periods for his collection. And as punishment for this, Jean-Luc Picard puts him in the brig. But the thing is, if he doesn't get back to his time machine, he'll be stuck here forever. So I think, no, he's stolen some gadgets that can easily be replaced. He doesn't deserve to be stuck in this time period forever for that. No, that's not proportionate to the thing he did wrong. But no, that's his punishment. And cool as a cucumber, Jean-Luc Picard says, "Welcome to the 24th century." That's horrible. That's not proportionate to what he did wrong. But in spite of these nitpicks, overall, the show's really good. I just think that the Federation, 90% of the time, they get things right. But now and again, their judgment is, rather questionable, yes. And yes, well, okay, some good things. Star Trek Next Generation, yes, the story expands. We see new characters, new friends, new enemies, so that the story really expands. Yes, here we have, we see the Klingon bird of prey. Why? Because we're in a totally different time period, but because it was popular, we see that. We see a Vorcha attack cruiser here, yes. For the first time, we see the Borg. Very unoriginal. It's basically the same idea as Doctor Who's Cybermen, but nevertheless, the Borg look pretty cool. We have the